Today's Wellness Congress is going to be related to the mind power by which we can have our health from mind to the body and from body to the surroundings. How come we can affect this mentally, then transform to physical, after that transform to the surrounding, and with the people how we can lead a life of peace and harmony. Now, in our body, we have our external organs like hands, feet, mouth, eyes, nose, ears, throat, and the touch. Finally, the brain, where I am receiving the impulses and then it is transformed in my mind as to how and what it is. Something I am seeing, it is now transformed from brain into my mind. I understand there is something there by which I can have some use. I can make use of things. Whatever is helping me, I like it. Whatever doesn't help me, I don't like it. Leave alone hating it. What is mind then? How does it affect our bodily activities? And what is the life force that we call prana? The life force is the one that is helping me to move around, helping me to live as a man. That only makes us understand there is life in it. He is still living, he is not yet dead. The life force is conducting our body, bodily organs, from brain down to the tip of the toenails. From the hair tip to the toenail, this is the life force that is conducting us. Life force we know as Uyir in Tamil and Prana, or Jivan. This life force is very important for us, for our activities. If the life force is the one deciding factor, whether I am alive or not, my internal bodily organs are also infused with the life force, so they are functioning. This life force, as it is preparing our internal organs towards receiving the food and then from there absorbing the nutrients, after that it is conducted to the lungs to be energized, to be given life. After that it goes to the heart for circulation. Now the bodily organs are functioning. Clearly we must understand either the heart or the lungs or the stomach or the liver or the intestines or the kidneys, even the brain. Unless there is life, it will not function. So, when there is a problem in the life force, the life force quality is suffering, then the bodily organs slow down in its function. In the long run, it will lose its integrity and fall to sicknesses. Is it the life force that is making the organs function, or without the life force, the body is functioning on its own, irrespective of whether the life force is there or not? This is the life force that is very necessary for our functional activities, physiological activities, psychological activities, and all the three activities are energized by the life force. So when there is a disease, it is because of a dent in the life force, because of a problem in the life force. That life force must be strengthened to correct a bodily ailment or to correct a dysfunction of a particular organ, physiological organ. I am not all right, I am saying. I am not able to think, I am saying. What's your problem? I don't know. I am not what I am. So the problem is with the life force. I am not feeling all right. That fail is a life force. I am feeling okay now. The life force is being regenerated now. Give your maximum importance to the life force which is conducting you. The internal organs, every single organ is created every moment by the life force, is guided by the life force. So what this life force is, we are going to understand now. Without this life force, we are dead. When the life force is affected, we are affected. Bodily organs are now falling into diseases. We will understand that the life force is defective. There is no problem with the bodily organs. If there is a problem in the stomach, for example, I have a very good appetite. I want to eat anything. I am at the table. The first morsel I am about to eat. A sad news comes to you. A very distressing news comes to you. Immediately, the appetite is put off. I cannot eat. Even if one morsel is in my mouth, it will get stuck. It will not enter. The whole mouth becomes dry because of the grief or because of the anxiety. What happens? The life force is disturbed. Instantly, the stomach, the organ, and the gullet, the throat, and the esophagus, the food pipe, everything is constricted, becomes dry, and nothing enters. I have to take in water, otherwise I will choke to death. This is the very important understanding now that my mind is disturbed, the emotions are being kicked up, and because of the emotions, my life force is now deteriorating. Either it is degraded from its quality, or it is put down. I can even out of fear, I will die even choking. My heart will stop. In my extreme grief and shock, I can have a total heart block and die. So initially I have sadness. That sadness increases in its intensity to fear, and the fear increases to its maximum intensity of shock. When I have fear, every organ is now benumbed, increasing urine because of the mind status. The status of my mind should be at peace all the time. All the time it must be at peace. When the peace is disturbed, I am disturbed, I am saying. When I am saying a word referring to me, that means my life force is disturbed. My mind is disturbed. As a result of that, my life force is disturbed. As a result of that, my bodily organs are falling from control. There is no integrity, there is no integration of organ between organs. What happens now? Whether you are going to strengthen your life force, whether you are going to put your life force in order, safeguard your life force, or you are going to blame the organs. There is a kidney failure, there is a liver failure, there is a heart failure. There is no question of failure. Totally you will die out of shock. That is the extreme status of mental status of fear, shock. Then comes the lower level. This fear is the extreme status of my sadness or worry. And the worry is the starting point of all diseases. My mind is disturbed, then the emotions sprout out of it. It splinters into emotion. The moment a piece is shattered, it splinters into emotions. Once the piece is shattered, then the emotions cause disturbance in entire self. From brain down to the toe, there is disturbance. My feet become shaky, I cannot stand. My hands become shaky, my tongue trembles, I cannot use my syllables properly. Face your life now. Whether you are going to safeguard your life or you are going to give most importance to your bodily organs. Bodily organs are dummies without life force. If the life force is disturbed, every single atom of your bodily organs, cells and tissues will be disturbed. There is no doubt regarding this. There is no disease at all physically, but the disease is in the disturbance of life force. That disturbance to life force is caused by the emotions. The emotions are the ones which disturbs us. So what we want is I have great fear. What do you want? I want peace. I got worry. What do you want? I want peace. I am angry. What do you want? I want peace. I am hilarious. What do you want? Stay cool, peace. Don't get over emotional. We will say that happiness is also an emotion. Cannot have happiness for long. That disturbs your heart and lungs. You will even choke to death. If you tickle the children, small child, it will keep on laughing. You will know that if it continues to laugh, it will choke to death. So the extreme happiness and hilariousness and enthusiasm, everything affects your heart. Cool down, calm down. That's you want peace. So peace is the one when I am possessing it, I have your mind. The moment the peace is disturbed, my mind is disturbed, I have no more mind at all. Mind is disturbed to the roots. It ruins me. The moment emotion is there, my mind is shattered. Bring back together to your peaceful status. Safeguard your mind level. Mind is all important. Mind you, mind is all important. If you are emotionally disturbed and showing one emotion or the other to the extreme, they will ask you, are you a man of mind? Are you out of your mind? They will ask you. Cannot. Be steadfast in assessing your mental status. You must be very, very intuitive to understand whether anything is wrong within me or not. Find out from you at this point whether you are peaceful or you are angry or you are fearful. Any psychotic disturbance, fear psychosis, sadness is a psychosis, psychosis is emotions, every emotion is a psychosis, including happiness, because the happiness will cause your breathing to stop and heart to stop. There can be choking of breathing and there can be stoppage of heart attack. In extreme anger also there is heart attack. In extreme agony, grief also there is heart attack. You cannot breathe as well as the heart is pumping faster, it will stop anytime and die. We will face the death. Understand clearly it is the total heart blocks, partial heart block, everything is based on the status of your worry to fear to shock. And the 3 points, wherever your status now is in, then there's 100% heart block, 90% heart block, or 75% heart block. There is no heart block at all if you have peace. So make your mind at peace all the time. How to make my mind peace? The body, the whole human being is divided into 4 parts. One is the bodily organ, the physical organ. It is dead without the other 3 parts, which are higher in category, in importance. The life force is conducting the body. Life force is important than the bodily organs. Give maximum importance to the life force now. The life force is the king. The body is a servant. It is a slave. Don't bother about the slave. Don't bother about your body. Give due weightage to your life force. Safeguard your life force. The life force must be in order. It must be in a clear stream. It cannot be disturbed. There cannot be any obstruction, no turbulence at all. So in this way, you can safeguard your life force. In this way, there is no possibility of any disease arising in you, any disease getting worse in you, thereafter lead you to terminally ill conditions. How to safeguard this life force, which gives life to this life force, is important now. Emotions must be removed. Mind must not be disturbed at any cost. Mind should not die. When there is an emotion, we are harboring illness. Very soon, shortly, we will be developing diseases. As long as we are students, there is no worry at all. The moment we finish our studies, then the worry starts about my life. Nobody is going to feed me. My father will chase me out. Go and search for some job and look after yourself. Now the worry comes. Disease starts. As long as you're a student, there's no disease. The moment I finish my studies, the worry starts because I have to live. That worry. What do you want for life? You want money or your life force? I want my life force, not the money. But these people are thinking about only when there's money, my life force is stabilized. Is it true? only when you have money you will have your life force stabilized. To stabilize my life force, I can throw out all the money. Who is there to save me from dying, safeguard my life? This is what finally we will come down to. So the natural U-turn is happening in everyone's life when they meet a dead end, when they reach up to the terminal part of the disease. They want to throw away all the money. If you can save my life, that's important. Now, when you are all right, when you are fairly well enough, I am asking you, you want your life force or you want your money? You will say, I want money. Only to throw the money out in the last stages of our diseases. Forget about what we have been taught. Dwell and be honestly pondering in your mind what is given to you. In your mind, what is given to you, stay at peace all the time. Don't allow the mind to be disturbed. Is it there or not? Once the mind is given away, mind is in total turbulence, in chaotic situation, in total confusion. I am not getting sleep. I am not at all peaceful. I want peace now at any cost. You want food? No, I don't want. My mind is not okay. I don't want food. Very good dish, which you will like most. I am giving it to you. I don't want the food, I am saying. Why? My mind is disturbed. I am not okay. So why you are not okay? It is not peaceful. What is bothering you? Worry. What is bothering you? Fear. What is bothering you? Anger, contempt. I am so happy. I cannot contain my happiness. Again, there is a disease. Worst disease is happiness. Close to insanity. That happiness cannot be long-lasting, but peace can be long-lasting. Forever what you want is peace. So safeguard your mind in peaceful situation. State of mind must be peace. It cannot be allowed to get destroyed, get disintegrated into emotions like fear, worry, sadness, obsessive thoughts, anger, and hilariousness. All these things are, you're already diseased person. So my heart will be weak when I am angry. My heart will be weak when I am hilarious. Very much I am happiness. That happiness comes to me. My heart is very weak. And my breathing is also suffering at the same time. Grief strikes my lungs. I cannot even breathe. It is totally restricted. The breathing is restricted. It is shattered. And it is staggering even to have a normal breathing. There's a disturbance in the normal breathing. At any point of time, you cannot allow the breathing to be disturbed. So breathe normally. It is not an exercise actually. Give peace to your mind, the breathing comes to a normal state of function. So allow the breathing to be normal and you will know that I am not at all suffering from any disease. When the breathing becomes hasty, when the breathing becomes slowing down, then I have a stooping. Then I be slowing down in my all activities. I am not interested in the surroundings. I am indifferent to the people who are very near to me. All these things are heralding a disease status in the lungs and heart both together. So there are 4 things we must understand. There is a body which we cannot give any due respect at all. About the body, it is already dead, it is a body. And then the life force is very important. The life force is giving life to the body. And what gives life to the life force is the mind. And allow not the mind to be shattered. And allow not it to be disintegrated into its emotions. Safeguard peace. And finally, the 4th one is the soul. Listen to the soul. This is the finest part where our prayers can be answered. Be prayerful, be wishful of what is given to your soul, what is sent down upon your soul as the blessings from a power superior to us. There, my mind is given the blessing from my soul. You should not suffer from any disease. There should not be any disturbance to your peace. There should not be any shortage for all your daily needs and the needs of your future at any point of time. None of my family members should fall sick. And I will not go to any person as help and for protection to save my body, to save my life. I don't want to stoop down before a person and dishonor myself. I will stand on my own. I will not be seeking protection or help from anybody. I will not be working for anybody. I am not a slave anymore. The moment I work for somebody, I am already disintegrated. My honor is brought down. My integrity has gone. So I feel very miserable inside. Peace is now not there at all. I am only living to be suffering in the future. What suffering I do not know. They can name even thousands of diseases in the days to come. And every disease I may be harboring. There is no disease at all actually. I am not at ease with disease. There is no disease actually. While you are not feeling at ease, there is a disease. That is disease, nothing more. There is no physical disease except for the mental uneasiness. So there is four things. Soul is the one, by God's command, it gives to your mind, you must stay at peace at any point of your life. There should not be a person apart besides you that they will be of help to you, they will be protecting you. The soul says, I am the sole protector of you. Peace is the protector of you, nothing more. Safeguard your peace, the life force will be much better, there is no disease at all. Until and unless you safeguard your mind, there is no way that you can live peacefully until the prescribed term for you is over. 80 years, 70 years, 50 years, 60 years, whatever time is prescribed for you, within that period, you must lead your life beautifully, happily, and you will have well satisfied about having a peaceful life all this while, and you will be grateful to what God has given to you. There are so many people who do not believe in God. There are people who believe in God, but they are not at all interested in prayer. They are interested only in the knowledge they have, knowing very well the knowledge has to improve all the time until the world ends. So anytime your knowledge is half-hearted, never full. It is always semi. The knowledge we possess is always semi, that means half lunatic. If we follow the knowledge, then we are near to lunacy, insanity. We are morons and imbeciles. We will not follow the knowledge because the knowledge is forever, it is half-hearted. Today's knowledge has to improve. Tomorrow's knowledge has to improve. And until the end of the world, the knowledge has to fall short of its expectations. Where are we now? Are we following the knowledge or are we following the wisdom? The wisdom is the one wholesome knowledge, wholesome ability, wholesome force that will give you the input that you can lead your life very safely whenever there is a distressing situation. That input is necessary. It has to conduct our body. It has to conduct our mind. You go to the mind, don't come to the body level. Let not others help you, let not others protect you. There is no protection from the people because they will say that I will protect you based on their knowledge they possess. The knowledge is half-hearted. So when they begin to help you, they will give you more distress than giving you relief from the diseases. Suppose I have a broken hand. Who will give me comfort to the broken hand? It is me who can support it because I know in which position it will be safe, in which position there won't be much agony. So I have to keep my hand. If I call somebody else to help me when I am writhing pain, then the pain will be aggravated. They do not know how to comfort me except me myself. Where from this intuition comes to you? Any point of my limbs are broken, then don't go to the doctor. Hold your hand in a position so that there is no pain at all. It is in perfect alignment. When there is some change in the alignment, the pain will be very sticky and the pain will be so excruciating you will not be able to tolerate. There is no way that I tie my hand when there is pain the pain must ease out. No need to tie. Keep the hand in that position for 1 or 2 days. The setting up of bone is taking place. People will be asking, what will you do when there is a fracture? There are so many instances in my clinical practice. I don't use any medicine. I will not apply bandages. I will ask him to keep your limbs in perfect condition. That means in a position where there is extreme comfort. That is the position you must apply. The bones are in complete approximation. Apply your mind to that position, and as and when it is improving, you will be able to move the hand, because keeping my hand in just one single position, it is very uneasy. So this uneasiness gives you an indication, enough that position for you, now change your position to a little better. So I have to change my position. Now, before this uneasiness came, I could not put my position, the hand's position, the broken limbs in a different position. Now I am able to put my hand in a different position. Setting up is taking place so fast. If only you don't meddle with the broken parts of the limbs. So the broken parts of the limbs should not be allowed to touch by the doctors. You can carry forward your beautiful healing by keeping the limbs in a position where there is no pain at all. So keep on moving. You may be having some tough time for 2 or 3 days, but that is the healing moments. Never go to a doctor when there is a broken limbs, when there is an accident. What will happen when the blood is flowing? They say 300 ml of blood can be given, sucked out. You will still be happy. You will not swoon, nothing. But when I am hurt, there are a few drops of blood, or less than a pint of blood, less than 100 ml of blood. That will seem to be a pool of blood, but it is not so. By the time the police come, everybody will be watching, standing around, and the person who has swooned of an accident, he gets up on his own. There are instances, before even the police came, the person who has fainted and there's pool of blood, and he props up after some time. Then he is saved already. What is the reason that we have to take him to the hospital now? There he goes in for coma. And they will say, I cannot say for another 72 hours what will happen. If at all I have to say something, after 72 hours I will tell you. What are you going to do in the 72 hours? What's the point keeping him in here? I can keep him at home. We must apply our mind. Why I am saying is, the soul teaches you how to act in situations of dire straits. You will know what you should do if only you maintain your calmness. Then the soul teaches your mind what you must do. Follow soulfully. You are following godliness. We have 4 parts, I told you. 1 is the body, 2nd is the life force superior to it, and 3rd is the mind superior to it, and the mind is controlled by the soul. Be soulfully yours. Don't follow any people, any person's knowledge. I want their wisdom in total, not piecemeal of knowledge. Before even I gather myself, I am torn to pieces by the doctors. There is no doctors. Doctor means adulterating, doctoring the meter. So your life will be out slowly. One after another, the bodily organs will be removed, and you will be truncated. Finally, you will be killed. They said, I have done to the best of my knowledge what I could do. Now you pray God. To start with, I am going to a doctor, save my life and save my kidney. I have got a kidney failure, the doctor says. Now I believe the kidney will save me, so save my kidney. Kidney cannot be saved, so I have to go for transplantation of kidneys. After the kidneys have been transplanted, my lifestyle still is affected. It is going worse, and my life energy is now going down, down and down, further and further, until I feel that I cannot be living longer than a few days or a few weeks. Now I am saying to the doctor, save my life. Save my life was the first time the death brings the truth. Life is important, not the organs. Change of organs, organ transplantations, organ donations, it is all farce, it is myth. It cannot cure you, it cannot give you life. The life is given to the organ to save the functioning of organ. It is not the question of the organ giving life. Which of it is true? The life force is giving the life to the organ, or the organ is giving life to the life force? We will know. This is the reality, this is the wisdom. God teaches you from your soul to the mind, and be mindful soulfully to godliness. The truth is that life is saving the organs. Organs are not holding the life. Once the life departs, I am dead. Every organ is functioning now. One single shock is sufficient. If my heart is so feeble, I will fall dead. Which of this is true? Life gives energy to the body, or the bodily organs give life to the life force? You will clearly know the life force. Who is a specialist in life force? Tell me. Specialist in kidney is there, specialist in liver, specialist in heart, but all these things are managed by the life force. Who is a specialist in life force? As long as I go to the doctor asking him, save my life, he is out of order. He would say that go and pray. But when I say that my kidney's problem, come, I will save your life. I will give cure to the kidney. If I fail, I will change the kidney. If that too fails, if only you say that, as long as you don't ask me to save my life, I will keep you here. The moment you say, I save my life, I am out. You can go pray and do whatever you want. Don't stay here. Only then the death brings the truth to us. But when we are soulfully ours and we are sticking to godliness, that godliness is the one who teaches you this. Stay quiet, calm, and preserve yourself. Don't let your mind to be shattered. And there is the one where you can grasp at the time of situations, hard situations, when I am maintaining my peace. This peace allows me to grab the essence of wisdom, not the knowledge. This knowledge is mindfully be applied to the life. The life force is energized, and this energy is saving the bodily organs. I am not feeling any ailment body-wise. Give weightage to your mind. There is an upper compartment here that is divided by the diaphragm. The chest part is the first part of our body where we have no control at all, over which we have no control at all. This organ is my heart and my lungs. The chest portion houses two organs. One is my heart, the other is my lungs. The heart and lungs are functioning on its own. You have no authority over it. When my heart is beating fast, I have no authority over it. I cannot control it. When I am grasping for breath, like some bad news comes to me, I am profusely sweating, my lungs movement is disturbed, and then I feel I am not breathing well. Sometimes I am suffering from asthma. I have no control at all. I have to grow for something. I will catch anything that is near me, even to the point of breaking the hand also. So much is the tightness here in the lungs that I have no control over it. I have to breathe. Unless the breathing is there, I cannot become normal, and my bodily organs will slowly die, become numb, and my death will ensue finally. This is what is happening when an asthmatic patient is being cured by the allopathic doctors or by the medication. Finally, they will die of choking, or they will die of a heart attack because of extreme worry and fear. These two things are happening in the organs, upper organs, the two organs that is housed in the chest region, lungs and the heart. You don't have to feed it. You don't have to give air. Everything is automatically taken up, and the heart is beating on its own. You are not having any control over it. So this upper portion is very important, that I must safeguard my upper portion, that is above my diaphragm, the two organs in my chest region, the lungs and the heart. Have control over your mind, that be informed, in your mind, that is the control. Be informed of this fact. You have no authority over the organs in the chest because it is saved by the God Himself. You don't have to feed it by way of blood. You don't have to feed it by way of air. And there is nothing I am feeling. Automatically, it is not a distress at all for me. Automatically, my lungs and my heart is pumping and breathing. These two portions should not be disturbed at any cost. When I feel a disturbance in my lungs, then I am starting to have a disease. When I am feeling a disturbance in the action of my heart, that is, the beating of the heart is felt, then I am distressed, I am diseased. How do you know whether you have a disease or not? How do you know whether you are at the point of starting a disease in the entire body or not? The organs, the two organs, the lungs and the heart, the working part of it, you will never feel at all when you are hale and hearty. The lungs, I am breathing, we are all breathing. I am not feeling the breathing. And I am not breathing on my own as an exercise. So, as long as I don't feel the breathing, I am normal. When I begin to feel the breathing, I am becoming abnormal. Likewise, my heart is pumping, I am not feeling the pumping of it, the beating of it. When I am feeling the palpitation, the pumping of heart, then there is something wrong with my heart. These two organs are very important organs. Don't allow these organs to be felt by the body, to be felt by your mind. When there is a palpitation, even if it is temporary, that means it is getting into problem. When there is a breathing difficulty, even if it is temporary, then it is getting into problem. The entire system will fail now, soon or later. There is a system called yoga or breathing exercise. There are so many things are there. In your breathing exercise, you are conscious of your breathing. When my breathing is disturbed, I am conscious of my breathing. When my heart is palpitating, I am conscious of my heartbeat. The moment you become conscious about your two organs in the chest region, lungs and the heart, then you are in trouble. You should not have the consciousness of your organs functioning, especially the upper region organs like lungs and heart. The moment you feel it, you are disturbed. The whole bodily organs disturbed because there is a disturbance in the life force. When I am taught that close one nostril and breathe through the other nostril and close the other nostril and breathe out through the other nostril, I am conscious of it. I am artificially creating a disease in my lung. When I am running, when I am walking briskly, there is a heavy breathing. There is palpitation also along with. I must know I am creating a disease in the heart as well as in the lungs. Never become conscious of the two organs in the chest region. Very important. Your understanding should grow more vivid now. That understanding becomes a comprehension now. I am learning it for sure. The internal organs, the functioning of the internal organs should not be felt at all at any point of time. The moment you become conscious of these two organs functioning, definitely you are ill. I am creating an illness by artificially increasing my breathing as well as causing palpitation to my heart. When I am doing a running, you're doing a workout, you're doing an exercise, don't follow the people, their half-hearted knowledge. Every single moment you live by your mind, whatever is taught to you by the soul, it is by the allowance of God. He has created this soul for you only by His allowance that it talks to your mind if you are calm and quiet and listening to people. Now the voice from within, do this and do that, this is very good for you, this is not good for you. Becoming angry is not good for you, your heart tells. Having contempt for others, having anger for others, it is not good. Your heart tells you. That is, your soul tells your mind that you feel it. So don't show your anger. Don't get angry at all in the first place. And don't be very much over-saddened because of your losses in your life, and be at peace all the time. It is good for you. Who tells this to you? Suppose I am asking you to rebuke at others, to show your content others. It is good or bad, you will say it is bad. Who talks to you that? From the book you have learned? Suppose you are over brooding and depressed. Now somebody says, don't be over brooding. Forget about the incident. Everything will be all right. Is it a word of God or not? By brooding over, you will be even more immersing yourself. You will be drowning yourself into the sea of sadness. Don't enter into that. Come out of it. You are living for tomorrow. There is no knowledge for you to how to tackle the situation. God gives you the word. Be quiet, calm down, things will be all right. Who says this? Any person will come and say, stop worrying. Tomorrow will be, it's not ours. Tomorrow is God's. Everything will be set right. Who says this to you? Listen to the godly words. Listen to the goodness. That is the godly word. If I ask you, where is God and who is God? You will say that it is in the temple or mosque or churches. Are you sure? The God is residing in that temple, in that building that you have built for him, or the heavens and earth is for him? The heavens and earth is for him. Then he will stay inside where you are asking him to go inside and lock him up and then come out so that he cannot escape. This is how we are taught by the people. Is it right on our part when the good sense teaches us something beautiful and something not a strange one, but it is the real truth, the fact, not even, but it is the ultimate of the wisdom that God is everywhere. God's power is everywhere. God is not everywhere. The power within me is speaking. The power within me is speaking anti to God also. Speaking in favor of my own self, speaking against my own self. Self is my soul. If you speak a lie, it is bad or good, you will say it is bad, but you will do the same thing. Knowingly that it is bad, you will talk lies. To talk about others, backbiting others, good or bad, if I ask you, you will say it's bad, but we'll do that. To get angry against somebody is good or bad, it is bad, we know, but still we get angry. They say it is my habit, that's my nature, I cannot change it. Therein is your pride. We are not humble. We are not humble before God. Those who love God, they will not it demeaning to themselves when they follow God, when they abide by God, and when they fall prostrating before God. When he says a good thing, I accept it and I will not overtake it because of my pride. I will not shun it aside. I will not cause gloom to myself by denying the words of God. This is how I am now beginning to change my lifestyle from the lowest level to the highest level. The lowest level is knowledge of the people. The highest level is the wisdom, the source of all knowledge, the wisdom that is going to be transformed into knowledge tomorrow. Whether it is getting transformed into knowledge tomorrow or not doesn't matter, but as long as I am living, my soul is very much important because it teaches me the wisdom. Unseen knowledge is wisdom. The truth is wisdom, not the fact is wisdom. Fact is again based on statistical application. Whatever is available based on statistical application, I am saying this is right and this is correct and this is fact, something like fact is based on the statistics, whereas truth is not based on statistics, it is based on the wisdom. So my wish is here, God tells me, that means the godliness comes to me that I should not suffer at all any time in my future. It is there with you or not? If it is so, yes, then who is speaking this to you? When the whole world says it is impossible, you will be suffering. All the hardship, distress will come to you until your last breath. There is no way of your escaping it. Your heart is receiving such a message. When your heart is receiving the message, where from the ultimate truth, the wisdom comes to you, leave alone the doctors. Don't take that message into your heart. I am giving you the message. Lead a comfortable life all the time. Until your life ends, don't be worried. Worry should not touch me at all. I shall not be seized with the distresses in my life at all. And anxiety should go away. No apprehensions at all throughout my lifetime. You want this or you don't want this? I say, I want this. Where from this message has come to you? This is the God's message.